Right.
We're going to talk about cool Marla Amps.
Oh my God.
Stay tuned.
I was late. Look at us. We're barely visible.
It's nice. I like it. This is kind of fun. I feel stronger. I feel like I got a suit of armor in front of me.
I mean, this is like a suit of armor.
It is. What are these things, Johnny?
These are amps. They make your guitar louder. Like your guitar, but louder. These are Marla amps. These things are hand built not Nashville, Asheville, North Carolina. Right? We did pick them up on our way back from Nashville, Tennessee, to Asheville, North Carolina, which is the halfway point to here, which is kind of fun. But anyways, so these things, maybe you haven't heard of them. I think they're starting to make the rounds in some of the demo channels and stuff. 10 watts.
10 whole watts.
Kind of what I'd call maybe an oversized cab for a 10 watt amp.
Yep.
But I think they benefit greatly from that. I think the sound is awesome. So let's talk about it. So this is the SV10, the S10V. I said it backwards.
That's right.
Again, this is Marla Amplification. Make sure that you go follow them on Instagram and all that kind of fun stuff. But man, these are Class A, if I'm not mistaken.
You're absolutely right.
Like I said, they're about 10 watts. They're like 10.86 watts.
Yep.
Got a 12-inch speaker. Pretty much as simple as they can be. Volume and a tone. 2 inputs. One is, sort of dialed down for humbuckers if you want to be cleaner. Now, maybe the coolest part, they're under $900. So, you're literally getting a hand-built USA parts.
Yep.
They got Mojo-Tone speakers in them. This one has basically like a Jensen-y type Mojo-Tone. It's called an Anthem, I believe. That one's more of like a Celestian, like British voice.
Vintage.
British vintage.
Vintage.
I think this was the original sort of model. I think he's making a few upgrades, and this is going to be sort of like Mark II, which is going to be available at some point in the very near future. And I think they're still going to be in that just under $1,000,
which is perfect. Because I'll tell you, so here's some fun facts going on right now. You took this one home.
Yes.
For the weekend.
I did.
I had this one home for the weekend. And they're great. I love this one, but hearing this one, I'm like, oh, I kind of love it for different reasons. They're both awesome sounding, though, which is really awesome for a hand-wired amp under $1,000. It's like, how?
Well, here's the crazy thing, right? Like, before we even get into that, amps are so expensive. Like, and rightfully so, right? Like, you can get into 2 Rocks. Obviously, that's like a different beast. There's a lot going on in a 2 Rock amp. Magnetones, I love, obviously, Magnetone. All sorts of amps, right? You just expect them to be $2,000, $3,000, $7,000 dollars. And it's just like, okay, that's what an amp costs. So when you hear an amp that's like $859, you just kind of, my brain, and I hate this, I think, okay.
That's right.
But this was the most fun I've had plugging into a simple amp with like a volume and a tone. They really are. It was kind of clear, our friend makes these, and he's like, take them, try them, gig them, treat them like they're yours, which is super cool. Don't feel like you got to do a video, and if we hadn't liked them, we wouldn't have. But man, they're really fun. They're sort of in that tweed world. They got like a cool bass response. Like it's not your super high, trebly kind of hi-fi thing. It's not really that. But it's really fun to play.
It is. It's fun to play. It's kind of inspiring. I found myself not plugging in a bunch of pedals to it, like maybe an overdrive pedal, or I've got a Boss GE7 that's been modded by Analog Man. Put that in front of it and boost it up, and the amp responds really great to all that, along with the way that you play the guitar, which is nice. I already did a gig with this one. I did a solo gig with a little mini pedal board and an overdrive. All I turned on was, I was using like a Boss Blues driver and a Dispatch Master. Classy.
And the looper. And it was awesome.
I like it.
Playing the Gretsch, killer. It was really fun to play. I think I'm going to try it with a band this weekend for at least one or two of the gigs I have this weekend.
I might come crash your gig with this one this weekend.
With twins, I will say if it becomes a thing where both of these versions are available, this one's a little louder. The one with the more Jensen type speaker pushes a little more. This one's a little like it breaks up quicker.
Yes.
Got a little more of that rumbly low end.
Yeah.
Both are super fun.
Well, and on top of that too, what I'm impressed by, and I know there's a lot of you folks out there that will be too, this amp turned all the way up, just like that amp, all the way up, zero sound. Like you can turn your guitar down and it's like silent.
That's true.
It's crazy. Like I asked him, I was like, how did you do this? How did you make it happen? He's like, magic. And then he told me the real answer,
You
but
ever
it's
played
what
Magic
you'd
the
expect.
Gathering? No.
Exactly. He just puts in the work. It's awesome.
Which is kind of a rare thing.
It is.
You know what I mean? And I don't know. It's just a really cool amp for, again, it looks cool. These are both, I like that they're wood and sort of hand rub finishes or natural finishes. It's, you can see the little finger jointed thing going on. And I think kind of like an old, like a, you know, like that 59 Basement thing where it's the tweed covering, but it's solid pine and it's finger jointed. I think the resonance makes a difference. And I like that. I just like the look and the size of this thing. At first I did think, man, maybe this is big for me for like a 10 watt, like grab and go kind of amp. Mm-hmm. But I think the sound is worth it.
Well, there's these things howl, I think is a good word for it. You know, whenever I play it, I feel like it's howling. It's cool. That pine cabinet thing is doing its job, which is neat. And like you and I were talking about it, playing them back and forth in here a bit ago, just because we were able to play them together for the first time. It's cool to hear that natural reverb thing that you brought up. There's like a natural kind of...
It's not reverb, but there's a resonance. You know
There's
what I
something
mean?
going on, and there's the magic in the box, baby.
Well, there's
The
like a
magic in
thing
the
with
joints.
like, you know, blackface amps, and they're like, you know, like pressed board, like plywood is essentially. People say that you don't get much of the cabinet sound when you mic them because of that, right? But I think on an amp like this, you kind of do, and it almost is like, oh, I don't need reverb. It just does a thing, even with a single 12. Pretty impressive.
It is pretty impressive.
So there you go. Go and check out. Don't miss them. Could be the next big thing in guitar amps right out of North Carolina. There's all sorts of great amp makers in North Carolina, so it would make sense to have another. Marla Amps in Asheville, North Carolina.
He is a sweet, sweet, sweet man.
Yes, who plays Doom.
I mean, every time I see it, I made him blush. It was nice.
That was good.
We're having fun. It's cool.
He's
It's
a good-looking
He's
man, too.
Very good looking.
Very good looking.
The hair, baby.
Good looking. Good looking. Facial hair, I mean.
I'm talking about this hair. You
All
know
of
what I
it.
mean? He's
All
got
of it.
going
The whole package.
on. I'm like, whoa.
The whole package.
Whoa, baby.
And there's a dog on
There's a
here.
dog.
You can see it.
Marla.
The little Joel. That is Marla. So,
We will have to give Marla our well wishes.
if you want to see Marla, you can go to the Instagram page.
That's right.
Marla's featured prominently.
That's right. I'm ready to be knighted. I'm a believer. I like
Hey.
it. There you go.
I mean, yeah, I could. This would be such a cool amp to just grab for gigs, like you know, smaller gigs, mic it for bigger gigs.
Yeah, I would say,
Um,
I think I can say this for both of us, go check out on our Instagram pages. We're going to do some demos of these.
Yep.
Maybe some demos later on, too, of us playing them together here at the shop on the YouTube channel. But definitely check Instagram, stuff like that. Give Marla a follow on Instagram. Give him a follow. I believe he has a YouTube channel as well, but he's a really cool dude. So check him out. But outside of that, click like, click subscribe.
Click the bell.
That's right. And go buy a Marla amp today because it's worth it. And
Do it now while they're
It's-
still
yes.
you know, $8.59.
$8.59 before the secret gets out. You know?
I was gonna say they might not stay that way for
I
long,
know,
and
it's
I
like,
really,
oh.
you know, I would not. It wouldn't surprise me at all, and I think it would be justified. So,
right.
yeah, now's the time.
Go do it to it, boys.
Get in early.
We'll catch you next time, all right?
Goodbye. Bye.